you wondering if you should be in a calorie deficit or a reverse diet in order to lose weight and see the physique goals that you want to? That's what we're going to be talking about today, but welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie Bunker. I'm an online health and fitness coach. I used to be an athlete my whole life, and a little bit about me: once my career ended, I felt lost and frustrated, and so once I finally figured out how to lose weight and feel confident in my body without giving up any of my favorite foods, I wanted to help as many women as I could do the same. So I started a health and fitness coaching business, and here we are today. So if you feel like you are struggling with these things, definitely check out my other videos, but also there's going to be a link in the description to check into my coaching and apply and see if you would even be a good fit. So if you're interested, then definitely check out the link below. But without further ado, let's get into the video. You hear all the time, I'm sure, on social media and just different social media platforms, reverse dieting and cutting and calorie deficits and all of that stuff. And I am sure that it is overwhelming, because I know before I learned all of these things, I was very overwhelmed with what that means. Which one should I do? What should I be doing for my goals? And it can be very stressful and hard to figure out what you should do. So I'm gonna hopefully clear that up for you, but I first want to talk about what each of them are and then how you decide which one is best for you. So first, let's talk about reverse dieting. Reverse dieting is essentially slowly increasing your calories so that you can get to a good amount of calorie without putting on a lot of body fat. You might put on some body fat, but the idea is to start strength training or actually like dialing in your training while slowly increasing your calories, eating more protein, and really building muscle and recomping your body. So the goal is to eat more food while losing fat, or at least maintaining. And a lot of women respond differently. Some clients, they lose weight in the reverse dieting phase. Some clients gain a little bit of weight. Some clients maintain, but their bodies look different. And that's why it's really important to take progress photos and look at other measurements aside from just the scale. The scale is a great tool and it will help you kind of see where you're at, but it is not everything. So what you do is strategically slowly increase your calorie intake without jumping, up super high, or without doing it too slowly. You have to do it while also looking at your biofeedback. How is your sleep, your recovery, your energy levels? What is the scale like? How are your progress photos? How's your strength? All of those things we take into account when we are increasing our clients' macronutrients. It's also really important to dial in your training so that you're putting on muscle during this phase. The more muscle you have on your body, the leaner you look, the easier it is to lose body fat, because the more muscle you have, the more food that you can eat. So that's a reverse diet. A calorie deficit is eating less calories than your body needs to maintain so that you lose weight. You do not want to be in a calorie deficit for a prolonged period of time, but for 4 to 6 months, depending on the person, it can help you lose body fat and actually see the physique goals that you want to, if your body's in a good spot to do it. The reason that we do reverse diets for some of our clients is because you've probably been chronically dieting for so long that your body adjusts. Our bodies are very adaptive, which is great, but also sometimes not so great. They're very, very smart. And so your metabolism adapts. So let's say you start with 2,000 calories and you drop down to 1,500. You're gonna lose weight, and eventually you're gonna plateau. So in order to lose more weight, you have to drop again. And if you've been chronically under eating, your body is used to, let's say, 1,300 calories. So your maintenance is now 1,300 calories, which is incredibly low. And so in order to lose weight, you're going to have to literally decrease your calories lower than that. And you get to the point where it's just unhealthy and you're losing a lot of muscle mass. You're really putting your health, not at the forefront of your mind, and your health at risk. And so it's very, very dangerous. That is why we reverse diet, because your body's not going to see the changes that you want to unless you drop lower, lower, lower. And even then, it's probably going to be a lot harder. You're not going to have a lot of energy. You're going to be losing a lot of muscle mass. You're going to probably be struggling with sleeping. You're going to have gut health issues, all of those things, which is something that I struggled with. And everybody's body is so different, but it just gets to a point where it's very dangerous, hence why we reverse diet. Now, a lot of people do think that they need to reverse diet because they think they're eating less than they are, but they're not tracking properly, or they're not as consistent as they think. Maybe they're not eating a lot during the week, but then on the weekends, they're binge eating and overeating. And so then their overall calorie intake is actually at a surplus or maintenance, which is why you're not losing weight. So you need to understand if you should actually reverse diet or if you can go straight into a deficit. So here are some signs that you should not be in a calorie deficit. Number one is if you've been dieting forever. If your calories are actually really, really low and you're under eating and still not seeing changes that you want to, you should not be dieting even more. And that's when you need to go into a reverse diet. So essentially, if you're barely eating and you're having low energy, maybe you lost your period and you're still not losing weight, you shouldn't be in a deficit. Other signs and symptoms of chronically dieting is you're exhausted, you're bloated, you maybe don't have a period, you're moody, or you feel like you have a lot of cravings and you're binging on the weekends. It shouldn't be hard for you to stay in a healthy deficit for a very long period of time. It shouldn't be hard to listen to your body and not overeat. If you are absolutely starving and ravenous, yeah, it's gonna be really easy to binge eat because your body's starving. No wonder you're binging on the weekends because you're not fueling it properly. So if you feel like you're having intense cravings, you've probably been dieting for too long. Another sign is your progress has stalled even though you're doing everything. You're doing all the cardio that you've been doing. You're under eating or you're in a diet and you've been doing those things and your calories are low enough and your body has plateaued. So essentially, if you've cut carbs, if you're under eating, if you have low energy, you're not eating a lot and you're still not seeing the changes that you want to, you should pull out of your deficit and go into a reverse diet. That's literally your body screaming at you, telling you that you shouldn't be dieting anymore, that you need more food and that you need to reverse diet and finally fuel your body so that it can actually see changes. And a lot of the time, when you start eating more food, your body starts working for it again and it has more energy and it's able to burn more calories and you actually look leaner. Now, what are some signs that you're ready for a deficit? If you've been eating a good amount of calories, your maintenance calories, and you've been consistent with it for a long amount of time, you're consistently eating at maintenance or above, you're strength training, you're not binging on the weekends, you're not overeating, but you're not severely undereating. Your energy is good, your hunger is regulated, you're sleeping well, you have a period, you're just feeling good overall. And keep in mind, a lot of women that I talk to say that they're in a deficit or they've been dieting for so long, but when we actually look at the foods that they're eating, they're not tracking properly. They're under tracking and then they're overeating on the weekends or they're not tracking their food properly. So they're actually eating more food than you think, which can be a good thing because then you don't have to reverse diet and you can go into a deficit and see those changes that you want to. So it's really important to understand, are you actually in a deficit or are you just not tracking properly? And I'm gonna be honest, most of you don't need another diet. You need to fix your foundation. You need to fix your metabolism. You need to also fix your mindset and your relationship with food. If you have a terrible relationship with food, you've been under eating, restricting yourself, you have no business going into a diet. But if you have a healthy relationship with food and you've been overeating or sitting at maintenance, you can go into a deficit, but you truly need to learn to listen to your body and understand what it actually needs, not what you necessarily want, because you'll get to where you want to be when you do what you know you need to do. Think of a reverse diet as literally like building trust with your body again, because your body is starving if you need a reverse diet, if you've been under eating. It's starving, it's tired, it's working overtime. So you need to let it relax and let it recover and take some stress away before going into another diet. So what do you do now? Ask yourself, am I actually overeating or am I under eating? How are my energy levels? Am I bloated? How's my gut health? Am I seeing results from my current intake? Have I actually been consistent for months on end before complaining about a plateau? Am I energized? Am I lifting heavy? Am I sleeping well? Listen to your body, look at your biofeedback, and then decide if you should reverse diet or go into a cut. If you're still confused and not sure what you need to do and you want support on your journey, like I said, click the link below or DM me Reverse Diet on Instagram and I can give you an exact blueprint on what you need to do to lose weight without giving up your favorite foods and by eating more food, not less. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching and we'll catch y'all in the next video.